Sri Sai Ram, offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of Sri Bhagavan Sathya Sai Baba. Today we are going to see the 10th story in the series of Chinna Katha. The title of the story is Selfishness Will Never Work in Matters Relating to God. There is a small story in the Mahabharata. With the view to get Krishna on her side, Satyabhama, one of his consorts, went to Narada and requested him to tell her some way, a shortcut by which she can achieve her objective. Narada knew that Satyabhama was very selfish and that selfishness will never work in matters relating to God. Narada wanted to teach a lesson to Satyabhama and said he knew of a method which would get Krishna on her side. A ritual in which she gives away her husband as a gift to someone and then buys him back by paying money, equivalent in weight to the weight of the Lord. Narada said that Krishna will belong solely to Satyabhama under all circumstances if she went through this ritual. Satyabhama was huge into the plan. Therefore, she did the ritual of gifting Krishna to Narada and then getting him back. In one pan of the balance, she made Krishna sit and she put all her jewels in the other pan, but it was no match to the weight of Krishna. Narada saw an excellent opportunity in the situation and told Satyabhama that since she is not able to give gold needed to equal her husband's weight, he was taking away Krishna and that from that day Krishna would not belong to her. In that situation, Satyabhama thought of Rukmini and went in search of her. She found her performing Tulasi Puja. Rukmini went with a few Tulasi leaves in her hand. She was astonished to find that Satyabhama was trying to outweigh the Lord himself with gold. She knew that this would never be possible. She said that gold will never outweigh God and only God's name can match him in weight. Narada did not agree with this and asked that since Krishna had a form which can be seen, he must be weighed against something which can also be seen. Rukmini immediately grasped the situation and she told herself that whether it is fruit or flower or a leaf or even a spoon of water, if given in full faith, God will surely respond. If there is any truth in this, expected Krishna to respond to what she was going to do and in full faith. She placed a tulsi leaf in the other pan of the balance, uttering the name of Krishna. It is only with affection, love and pure heart that one can get God. She won. The moral of the story is selfishness will never work in matters relating to God. Only total surrender and pure bhakti with a pure heart will work to win God. We should see what is selfishness. Selfishness is being concerned excessively or exclusively for oneself or one's own advantage, pleasure or welfare regardless of others. This is an impurity in the mind. What causes someone to be selfish? People who are selfish tend to have been raised in environments in which their feelings, thoughts and needs weren't recognized, valued. Their family might not have acknowledged or cared about how they thought or felt. So they became accustomed to putting themselves first because everyone else in their family was doing the same. Number 3, the fact that they were subjected to such a ruthless environment at a young age has caused them to develop selfishness as a defense mechanism. 7 traits of selfish people. They do not show weakness or vulnerability. They don't accept constructive criticism. They believe they deserve everything. They do not listen to those who do not agree with them. They criticize others behind their backs. They exaggerate their achievements. They are scared of taking risks. Some ways to remove selfishness is to be really a good listener. Most of us assume we know what conversation is going and then stop listening to prepare for our turn to talk. Better to stay in the moment and give the person the full attention, and it will be greatly appreciated. Number 2, show a bit of empathy. Just like it's easy to tune out people while they talk, it is also decidedly easy to spend your day oblivious to other people's wants and needs. But all it takes to prevent this is a little bit of empathy. Give them a chance to express their feelings and needs and even reflect back. Number 3, donate some of your money, donate some of your time. Let others decide in some scenarios. Give them space. Figure out ways to compromise. Put your needs last. Put yourself in others' shoes. The habit and check your attitude. Never hurt someone's feelings. Give compliments. Treat every human being as you would like others to treat you. Learn to share. Overcome the fear of unknown. Respect others. Contemplate love. Practice humility and patience. Selfishness is one of the impurities in the mind. Reasons for impurity. By nature, souls are eternally pure. However, in this world, they become enveloped by the impurities of nature, whereby their purity becomes concealed and beings come increasingly under the control of Maya. What are the types of purification? Impurity is a temporary condition which can be overcome with effort. Actual methods to overcome impurities are physical purity, Deha Shuddhi, mental purity, Mano Suddhi, spiritual purity, Atma Shuddhi. So let us see the types of purification. Ritual practices such as prayers, lights, pilgrimage, upavasana and samskaras are some of the ritual practices. Second, spiritual practices, celibacy, regulated breathing, pranayama, concentration, silence, japa, kirtana and bhajans. Then ethical practices, predominance of sattva, religiously truthfulness, renunciation and detachments, niyama, the rules or observations are some of the ethical practices. Purifiers or cleansers. Purifiers possess the power to prevent, cleanse, remove, neutralize the impurities or make things and people pure and auspicious. There are certain objects or actions or people or phenomenon identified as purifiers. And prayers or rituals, mantras, sacrifice like giving up a few objects like food, addiction, habit, temptation, attachment and weakness. The scriptures, reading of the scriptures help us to keep our mind in a balanced state and remove our impurities. Good deeds like donation or some charity work, auspicious speech, breathing, sun and moon, sacred rivers, sacred mountains, sacred trees, sacred places, sacred animals, sacred food, auspicious time, temples, gods and goddesses, sacred syllables, sacred symbols, blessings from the elders, divine grace, virtuous conduct, penance, devotional service, charity and knowledge. These are all the purification methods. Lord Krishna emphasizes that avoiding worldly life becomes meaningful only when the mind is insulated itself from all kinds of desires. The spirit of renunciation is a state of chitta shuddhi or purity of mind. Inner attitude is the prime qualification for salvation. An aspirant for this goal soon realizes that just turning away from the world will not necessarily purify the powerful mind. The Gita asserts that those in the worldly life also can attain Chitta Suddhi by not distancing from the ordained duties, but by renouncing the fruits of action. This means a person functions with a selfless attitude in his thought, word, and deed. This is why these purification processes help us to stay balanced with a pure mind without expecting the results and a total surrender to the God. To see Baba how beautifully explains the Krishna's story and the Tulasi by Rukmini.
చర్యలు కూడా మనం చేస్తూనే ఉన్నాము.
We also undertake rituals.
కానీ
But
ఏ రకంగా చేస్తున్నాము?
in what way we do?
చిత్తశుద్ధితో చేస్తున్నామా?
Are we doing with the purity of our heart?
లేక ఒక ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి దీంట్లో కృత్రిమమైనటువంటి రీతిగా మనం ఆచరిస్తున్నామా?
Or are we doing it simply as a ritual?
ఎవరికి వారు నిర్ణయించుకోవాలి.
Each one has to decide for
ఏది
oneself.
చేసినప్పటికీ హృదయపూర్వకంగా చేస్తే భగవంతుడు దాన్ని మెచ్చుకొని ఎంతైనా నీకు ఆనందాన్ని అందిస్తుంటాడు.
You may do anything. If you do it wholeheartedly, God will be pleased.
కృత్రిమమైనటువంటి భావం చేత, భౌతికమైనటువంటి ఆశల చేత, ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి ఇచ్చల చేత సత్యభావం ఎంతో భగవంతుని తుంచి తనవాడుగా చేసుకోవాలని ప్రయత్నించింది.
With all artificial deeds, with the physical worldly deeds, Satyabhama made every attempt to own Krishna. God will not be carried by wealth.
పదవులకు తూగడు.
He cannot be balanced by position.
చదువులకు తూగడు.
Nor any wealth.
తెలివితేటలకు తూగడు.
Nor by intelligence.
మేధాశక్తికి తూగడు.
Not intellect.
భగవంతుడు ఒక్క భక్తికి మాత్రమే తూగుతాడు.
God would balance to the devotion only.
అందుకోసమనే రుక్మిణి భక్తిగా పోల్చుకున్నారు.
And then Rukmini stands for devotion here.
పత్రము,
The leaf,
పుష్పము,
a flower,
ఫలము,
a fruit,
తోయము,
water.
భక్తి కలిగిన వానికి వసుడవౌట సత్యమేని నీవు ఈ తులసి దళమునకు తూగుదుగాక.
If it is true that you would balance to the depth of devotion, you wait and balance to this name and place the tulsi leaf there.
పత్రము అనగా బిళ్ళ పత్రం, మేరేడు పత్రం, తులసి పత్రం ఇవి కాదు.
It is not the leaf of the plant, Bsba.
పత్రము, పత్రము అనగా దేహమే పత్రము.
The body is the leaf.
పుష్పము,
Then flower.
ఏమిటి పుష్పము?
What's the flower?
మల్లె పుష్పమా, జాజి పుష్పమా, శామంతి పుష్పమా, చింతక పుష్పమా?
Is it
కాదు కాదు.
jasmine or chrysanthemum or what sort of
నీ
flower?
మనో పుష్పమే పుష్పము.
That's the flowers of your thought.
ఫలము,
Fruit.
హృదయ ఫలం కావాలి.
And the fruit of your heart.
తోయము,
The water.
ఏం ట్యాప్లో వాటరా, గంగ వాటరా, లేక బావు వాటరా, జలం ఇంకే విధమైన రివర్ వాటరా? కాదు, ఆనంద బాష్పములు, అదే తోయము.
What water? Is it tap water or well water or river water? No, that's the water of the tears of joy that roll on your cheek.
ఆనంద భాష్పములతో భగవంతుడికి ఆత్మార్పణ చేయాలి.
You have to surrender with the tears of joy rolling.
ఇలాంటి దీనినే భగవంతుడు కోరుతున్నాడు.
That's what's desired by God.
ఇలాంటిది మనం విసర్జిస్తున్నాము. బాహ్యమైనటువంటి దానినంతా మనం భ్రమించి తద్వారా మన యొక్క జీవితం కూడా భ్రమగా మార్చుకుంటున్నాము.
We give up this inner meaning and inner content. We go by the external.
Today we have seen the story Selfishness Never Works in the Matters Relating to God and its inner significance. What is selfishness? What are the causes of selfishness? What are the traits of selfish people? What are the ways to remove selfishness? Reasons of impurities, purification method, and Bhagwan Baba's words. Next week, let us meet with another story from Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba's Chinna Katha and see its significance in detail. Until then, Sai Ram.